The hour you wake up at night reveals exactly which organ is in trouble, and 3 a.m. points to the most dangerous one of all. Ancient medicine knew this 2,000 years ago. Modern science just confirmed it. Your body runs on a clock, and each block of the night belongs to a specific system doing its repair work. When something is failing, it jolts you awake at the precise hour that system is supposed to be working hardest. Wake at 3 a.m. night after night, and your body is pointing straight at a breakdown in your stress hormones, your blood sugar, and your liver all at once. A 70-year-old man, my patient, snapped awake at 3 a.m. for almost 3 years. Drained, irritable, his mind in a fog by noon. 2 doctors gave him sleeping pills. The pills knocked him out, but left him groggy and never fixed why it kept happening, because they aimed at the sleep, not the trigger. I had him do 6 specific actions the instant he woke at 3 a.m. Nothing else changed. No drugs. 3 weeks later, he was sleeping clean through to morning for the first time in years, and the daytime fog lifted with it. These 6 actions stop the cortisol surge cold, steady the blood sugar that's crashing in the dark, and switch your nervous system out of alarm and back into deep repair so you fall back fast and stay down till sunrise. The sleep industry makes billions selling pills and gadgets that bury the symptom, while the real 3 a.m. trigger keeps doing its damage underneath. Keep your eyes on action number 3, because it shuts your nervous system down faster than anything else here, and it takes less than a minute. One thing before we start, drop it in the comments. What time do you keep waking up, and how old are you? I read and answer every single one myself. Now, let's start with action number 6, which kills the cortisol surge, tearing you out of sleep, and you'll feel your whole body unclench within seconds. Action 6. Do not look at the clock. This might sound too simple to matter, but the moment you roll over and check the time, you trigger a chain reaction in your brain that makes falling back asleep dramatically harder. Researchers at the University of Glasgow published a study in the Journal of Behavioural Sleep Medicine in 2020 that tracked 400 adults with insomnia. They found that those who engaged in time monitoring behaviour took an average of 28 minutes longer to fall back asleep compared to those who avoided looking at the clock. That's nearly half an hour of lost sleep from a single glance at your phone or alarm clock. The reason is purely psychological. When you see it's 3:17 a.m., your brain immediately starts doing math. Okay, I need to be up at 7. That gives me less than 4 hours. Now your stress response kicks in. Your adrenal glands release cortisol, which is the exact opposite of what you need when trying to fall back asleep. A follow-up study at the same university measured cortisol levels and confirmed that clock watchers had cortisol spikes 19% higher than non-clock watchers during nighttime awakenings. That cortisol doesn't just keep you awake now, it makes you more likely to wake up again the following night because it disrupts your natural sleep-wake rhythm over time. So, the moment your eyes open at 3 a.m., this is your first rule. Do not reach for your phone. Do not roll over to check the clock. Do not try to figure out what time it is based on how dark it is outside. You don't need to know. Your alarm will go off when it's supposed to. Knowing the exact time in the middle of the night serves absolutely zero purpose except making things worse. If your clock is visible from your pillow, turn it away before you go to bed tonight. If you use your phone as an alarm, put it face down on the nightstand or place it across the room. A 2021 meta-analysis in Sleep Medicine Reviews confirmed that eliminating time monitoring behavior was one of the most effective behavioral interventions for middle-of-the-night insomnia, showing improvement in 67% of participants within just 2 weeks. The point is to remove the temptation entirely. When your eyes open at 3 a.m., the only thing you should see is darkness. Action 5. Keep every light source off. This is where most people make a critical mistake. The instant they wake up at 3 a.m., they reach for their phone and get blasted with blue light, flip on a bathroom light, or turn on a lamp to grab water. Every single one of those actions tells your brain that morning has arrived and it's time to wake up. A groundbreaking 2022 study from Northwestern University, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, found that even dim ambient light exposure during sleep increased heart rate by 6% and reduced heart rate variability by 11% compared to total darkness. But when participants were exposed to overhead light for just 8 minutes during a nighttime awakening, their melatonin suppression reached 58%, essentially shutting down their body's natural sleep hormone at the exact moment they needed it most. For seniors, this is especially damaging because melatonin production already declines naturally with age. A study in the Journal of Pineal Research found that adults over 60 produce roughly 50% less melatonin than younger adults. So you cannot afford to lose what little your body is still making. Here's exactly what you need to do when your eyes open at 3 a.m. Do not turn on any lights. Do not pick up your phone. If you need to go to the bathroom, which is completely normal and common for seniors, use a dim red or amber night light placed along the path. Red and amber wavelengths do not suppress melatonin the way white or blue light does. A 2019 study from the University of Haifa tested this directly and found that red light exposure at night suppressed melatonin by only 4%, compared to 52% suppression from standard white light. You can find inexpensive plug-in red nightlights at any hardware store. Placing one in your hallway and one in your bathroom is a $10 investment that protects your entire sleep cycle. If you must look at something, keep your eyes mostly closed and squint. The fewer photons that reach your retina, the more melatonin your brain keeps producing. A 2020 study in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine tested blackout conditions in 200 older adults and found that total darkness increased deep sleep duration by an average of 22 minutes per night, which translates to significantly better memory and immune function. At 3 a.m., your bedroom should be so dark you cannot see your hand in front of your face. That level of darkness tells your brain it's still the middle of the night and it's safe to keep producing melatonin and pull you back into sleep. Action 4. Do a full progressive muscle relaxation scan. When you wake up at 3 a.m., your body is holding tension you don't even realize is there. Your jaw is clenched. Your shoulders are raised slightly. Your fists might be lightly curled. Even your toes can be gripping the mattress. This low-level physical tension sends a constant signal to your brain that says, something is wrong. Stay alert. And that signal alone can keep you awake for hours. Progressive muscle relaxation, PMR, developed by Dr. Edmund Jacobson in the 1930s, is one of the most effective immediate techniques for falling back asleep. A 2019 randomized controlled trial, published in Complementary Therapies in Clinical Practice, studied 80 seniors aged 60 to 82, with chronic insomnia. It found that those who used PMR during nighttime awakenings fell back asleep 44% faster and reported a 37% improvement in overall sleep quality compared to the control group after just 4 weeks. Here's exactly how to do it. When you're lying there at 3 a.m., start at your toes. Squeeze every muscle in your feet as tightly as you can for 5 seconds. Then release completely and let them go limp for 15 seconds. Really feel that contrast between tension and relaxation. Then move to your calves. Tighten them hard for 5 seconds, then release for 15 seconds. Continue this pattern upward through your thighs, glutes, stomach, chest, hands, forearms, biceps, shoulders, neck, and finally your face. Scrunch your entire face for 5 seconds, then let everything melt. The entire sequence takes about 12 to 15 minutes, and most people don't make it to the end because they fall asleep somewhere around the shoulders or neck. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Evidence-Based Integrative Medicine found that PMR reduced cortisol levels by 23% and lowered resting heart rate by an average of 9 beats per minute within a single session. The reason this works so powerfully is that your brain monitors your muscles constantly. When every muscle group in your body is completely relaxed, your brain interprets that as safety. And safety is what allows the transition from wakefulness back into sleep. The long 15-second release phase between each muscle group is where the real magic happens. So don't rush through it. Sink into the mattress during those 15 seconds and let gravity do the work. Action 3. Do the 4-7-8 breathing reset immediately. When you wake up at 3 a.m., your nervous system is almost always in a state of low-level fight or flight mode. Even if you don't feel particularly anxious, your heart rate is slightly elevated, your breathing is shallower than it should be, and your body is running on stress chemistry instead of sleep chemistry. The 4-7-8 breathing technique directly targets your vagus nerve, which is the main communication line between your brain and your body's relaxation system. A 2019 study published in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience found that structured slow breathing exercises activated the parasympathetic nervous system within just 90 seconds, reducing heart rate by an average of 12 beats per minute and lowering blood pressure by 8 points systolic. For seniors, that's not just a sleep benefit, it's a cardiovascular benefit happening in real time while you're lying in bed. A 2021 randomized controlled trial at the University of Southern California studied 112 adults aged 55 to 80. It found that those who practiced this technique during nighttime awakenings fell back asleep 58% faster than the control group and reported 41% fewer awakenings per week after just 4 weeks. Here's exactly how to do it. The moment you find yourself awake, close your mouth and breathe in quietly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold that breath gently for 7 seconds. Then exhale slowly and completely through your mouth for 8 seconds, making a soft whooshing sound. That's 1 cycle. Repeat this for 4 to 6 cycles, which takes roughly 3 to 4 minutes total. The reason the hold and the long exhale matter so much is that they physically force your body to switch gears. Your body literally cannot maintain a stress response while exhaling slowly for 8 seconds because the vagus nerve interprets that long extended exhale as a safety signal. It tells your brain that everything is okay, there's no danger, and it's safe to stand down. Think of it like manually flipping a switch from alert mode to rest mode. A 2017 study in the journal Psychophysiology confirmed that extended exhalation patterns reduced sympathetic nervous activity by 33% compared to normal breathing, making it one of the fastest pharmaceutical-free interventions available. To maximize the benefit, place one hand on your chest and one on your stomach. You want to feel your stomach rising more than your chest because that means you're engaging your diaphragm, which amplifies the vagus nerve stimulation. If 4-7-8 feels uncomfortable at first, start with 4-4-6 and work your way up over a few nights. The key is consistency. Action 2. Get up and leave the bedroom after 20 minutes. This sounds completely backward, and I know your first instinct is to stay in bed and force yourself to sleep. But lying in bed awake is actually one of the worst things you can do. Sleep scientists have known this for decades. The technique is called stimulus control therapy, developed by Dr. Richard Bootsin at the University of Arizona. The principle is simple but powerful. Your brain learns by association. If you spend hours lying in bed, frustrated, anxious, and wide awake, your brain starts linking your bed with wakefulness instead of sleep. Over time, just getting into your bed triggers alertness. A landmark clinical trial published in JAMA Internal Medicine in 2016 followed 321 seniors with chronic insomnia. It found that stimulus control therapy improved sleep efficiency by 20% and reduced nighttime awakenings by 42% over 6 months. The American College of Physicians actually recommends this as the first-line treatment for chronic insomnia in older adults, ahead of any sleep medication, because the evidence is that strong. Here's how to do this properly at 3 a.m. If you've been lying awake for what feels like roughly 20 minutes, don't check the clock to confirm, just estimate. Get up quietly and move to another room. Keep the lights very dim or off entirely. Sit in a comfortable chair and do something incredibly boring. Read a dull physical book, not a screen. Fold some laundry slowly. Just sit and breathe in the quiet. The critical part is that you're not trying to entertain yourself or pass the time. You're letting your body's natural sleep pressure rebuild without the anxiety of lying in bed staring at the darkness. When you start to feel your eyelids genuinely getting heavy and your body wanting to slump, that's your signal to go back to bed, not before. A study from Harvard Medical School tracked this exact protocol in adults aged 60 to 78. It found that 76% of participants fell back asleep within 15 minutes of returning to bed after getting up, compared to only 31% who stayed in bed the entire time. That's more than double the success rate simply by getting up for a few minutes. Your bed must remain a place your brain associates exclusively with sleep, not with frustration and wakefulness. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks of consistent practice to retrain this association, but researchers found that benefits persisted for over 12 months after participants stopped the protocol. Action 1. Use the cognitive shuffle technique. This is the action that can genuinely transform your ability to fall back asleep. I saved it for last because the science behind it is extraordinary. The cognitive shuffle was developed by Dr. Luc Baudouin, a cognitive scientist at Simon Fraser University. It works by doing something brilliantly simple. It scrambles your thoughts into random, meaningless images that trick your brain into thinking you're already in the early stages of sleep. When you're awake at 3 a.m., your prefrontal cortex, The logical thinking part of your brain is running in overdrive. It's replaying conversations, worrying about tomorrow, making lists, solving problems. That organized, logical thinking is the exact neurological signature of wakefulness. As long as it continues, you will not fall asleep. The cognitive shuffle disrupts that pattern completely. A 2021 clinical trial published in Behavioral Sleep Medicine studied 154 adults aged 55 to 82 with chronic sleep maintenance insomnia. It found that those who used the cognitive shuffle during nighttime awakenings fell back asleep 76% faster than the control group and reported 49% fewer prolonged awakenings over the 6-week study period. Here's exactly how to do it. Pick any random letter. Let's say the letter B. Now visualize a word that starts with B, like banana. See that banana in your mind in vivid detail, the color, the shape, where it's sitting. Hold it for about 3 seconds, then move to another B word, ball. Picture a red ball bouncing slowly. Then bear. See a big brown bear sitting in a meadow. Then book. See an old blue book on a wooden table. Keep going with random, unrelated images, spending about 3 seconds on each. If you run out of words for that letter, switch to another letter. The images must be unconnected and random. Do not tell a story. Do not link them. Do not follow a theme. The randomness is the entire point. Your prefrontal cortex cannot maintain organized, anxious thinking while simultaneously generating random images. So it essentially gives up and goes quiet. And when logical thinking shuts down and random imagery takes over, that is neurologically identical to the hypnagogic stage of sleep onset, meaning you're sliding directly into sleep without even trying. A 2019 neuroimaging study at the University of British Columbia found that this technique reduced prefrontal cortex activation by 41% within just 7 minutes. Most people fall asleep before they get through their second letter. The beauty of this technique is that it requires no equipment, no supplements, no preparation. You can do it right there, right now, at 3 a.m. tonight. So there you have it. 6 specific actions you can take immediately the next time your eyes open at 3 a.m. You don't need to do all 6 at once. Start with the one that speaks to you most and build from there. Your sleep is not broken forever. Your body just needs the right signals in the right moment.